Okay, welcome to our webinar on Are You Ready for Government Contracts? Let's jump right in. My name is Christina Kunkel, and I am the Program Director for the Northern California Procurement Technical Assistance Center, or PTAC. I'm delighted to have Ranjani Mohana of RMO Business Solutions joining us today. I'm going to briefly talk about the services of the PTAC and of the Small Business Development Center programs before our wonderful guest begins her presentation. So the Norcal PTAC is a nonprofit program of the Norcal Small Business Development Center. The PTAC and the SBDC are both funded primarily by the federal government with supplemental state and local funds. And we're hosted by Humboldt State University Sponsored Programs Foundation up in Arcata, California. This is a map of our service area. We're funded to provide free one-on-one counseling services on procurement topics to businesses in the counties listed here and shown in the map on your left in green. As of September 2017, we officially added San Francisco to our service area. So that's that tiny dot on the map. We're also allowed to serve other Bay Area counties on a case-by-case basis. My office is in the far northern area of this map in Humboldt County, but we're actually able to provide services remotely via phone and video conferencing software like we're using today. We are currently in talks with Santa Clara County to potentially extend our in-person services there within the next 6 months. So I'll keep you posted. There's also about 100 other PTACs across the US. So I saw someone checking in from all the way in Virginia. If you're not already connected with the Virginia PTAC, talk to me and I'll connect you. The Norcal SBDC is shown here on the map to the right in red. That's the Norcal region, but each color on the map on the right represents a different SBDC region. Every county in the state of California has access to a local SBDC, and SBDCs provide free one-on-one counseling on more general business topics. So PTAC is procurement strictly, and SBDCs are more general, but can sometimes actually help you with procurement topics too. If you're unsure which service center is appropriate for your needs and location, just contact me. I'll direct you to the appropriate resource. You can email me. You'll receive an email immediately following this webinar with a request to submit a brief evaluation. And you can just reply to that email with any questions. So the Norcal PTAC provides 3 core services, all of which are provided at no cost to clients within our service area. The first is one-on-one counseling. I can connect you with an experienced procurement specialist who will help you with SAM registration, getting a DUNS number, minority, veteran, other certifications, crafting capability statements, GSA schedules, any other government contracting topics you can think of to help you succeed in selling your service or product to government agencies. We can sit down with you individually and help you understand where your business fits in the government marketplace. We just subscribe to this program that aggregates all federal, state, local, and school district purchases, and we can provide custom reports to our clients at no cost to help you determine who's already buying what you're selling and then help you target your marketing. Your local SBDC can also provide one-on-one counseling on more general business topics like getting a loan, how to write a business plan, accounting assistance, and more. Second, we provide free webinars like this one and in-person workshops on government contracting topics. These webinars and workshops are always free and open to anyone regardless of location. And finally, we can set up those within our service area with a free bid matching service with daily access to federal, state, and local opportunities. And we also post opportunities on our Facebook page and include them in our newsletter. So make sure you like us on Facebook and subscribe to our newsletter. If you have questions about that, let me know. And to apply for Norcal PTAC services, visit norcalptac.org, click on the big green button on the front page. And a quick housekeeping note, everyone joining us live today is muted to avoid distractions. We encourage you to ask questions using the chat function. You just move your mouse to the bottom of the screen and a black bar will appear. Click on the chat button in the middle of the screen and send us a message. It looks like some of you are already participating in that, so that's good. So we'll be monitoring the chat window, and we can answer your questions during the presentation, or Ranjani may choose to wait until the end if it's more appropriate. So with that, I am pleased to welcome Ranjani Mohana.
Hi, everybody. Christina, thank you so much for the introduction and also giving clarity details about the Norcal PTAC. And hi, everybody. I'm going to get started giving you a little bit background about myself. I'm originally from India, and I came to the US in '92, and I was in Texas. I went to school, graduated, and I worked for Texas Instruments for almost 9 years. And I started a small business of computer training school in Texas. And I did that for 3 years and sold the business and moved to California for better opportunities working with startups. While I was working with startups, I discovered information about certifications, contracts, RFPs, bids, and the 2 companies I worked with, I got them all certified and was able to bid and get some federal contracts. So that's when I decided, I have the skill set, and started my own niche market, this business of helping businesses to get certified and finding contracts. But I'm also an advisor with the PTAC and SPDC centers in the Bay Area, and my services to you are free if you are signed up with the PTAC. I'll give you all kinds of advice that you require to succeed in your business. On the lighter note, I'm also an artist. I do pastel art, and I do shows around the Bay Area. So that's a little bit about me. So today we are going to focus about these 5 questions which are on the screen. So do you know that federal government is the largest buyer of goods and services? For example, we are small businesses, and we buy for our own business. We buy furniture, we buy office supplies, we buy internet, we employ people, and we have software which we need to run our business, and so many different things that we purchase. Same thing, government purchase all different kinds of items. Only thing they purchase in bulk. That's the difference between what we purchase and what government purchases. Everything they purchase is in bulk, except for some large, high-priced item, they might get only 1 or 2. So that's what it is, the federal government. They are the largest buyer of goods and services. And also do you know that steps, like there are different steps. It's not like if I decide tomorrow I want to work with a federal agency that I can immediately be able to. I have to go through some steps, qualify my own business to be ready for contracts. So that's what we are going to dwell into today. And also, I don't know if you are aware, there are set aside contracts for different kinds of businesses. If you are a minority business, women-owned business, veteran business, disadvantaged business, if you qualify yourself in those categories, you will be able to compete in those set aside contracts, which are only for those different section of businesses. And also there are so many RFPs which are still not being able to, businesses are not bidding on those contracts because they have this myth in their head, it is too difficult, too much of paperwork, I can't do this, there is bureaucracy and all those different things. I just want to give you one piece of advice. If somebody comes and tells you that, it's a lot of work, it's too much, ask them, how do they know about it? Did they really go through that process, or is it just hearsay? So most of the time when you ask some more deeper questions, it is a general myth. People just talk about it. So in this session, I want to focus that we really understand what it is, and then we'll get our businesses ready to be able to go after these federal contracts. And also, not every contract that we bid that we are going to win, we might lose some of them. So there are several opportunities to learn even by winning and losing a bid. So we are going to go into that. So let's dwell in. So what is procurement? So it is buying of goods and services. That is general definition of procurement. But how do we all, like when we go to purchase, we want to look at the best cost, good quality, on-time delivery, and the best use of the product or service. So that is what is procurement. And same thing, government is looking when they put an RFP out, they want to look at a supplier or a vendor who can give them the best cost, and the quality of goods or services is good, and they will be able to deliver it on time and the correct location that they are requesting for. And so they will be able to have good past performance. So it is so very important. Government will do business with companies who have already established themselves and are financially stable. So we will even be talking a little bit more about that. So that is what procurement is all about: cost, quality, delivery, and on time. So there are two kinds of people, right? There are buyers and sellers. So let's talk about buyers. So buyers are the federal agencies that we are going to identify today. So what do? They identify they have a need and they want to work with their suppliers. They want to identify a supplier who they can communicate with, and they can negotiate the good pricing, and they want to not deal with 5 different people in an organization. They want to have one supplier liaison who will connect with the government agency and who will answer all the questions. And they want to also understand how you are going to provide your services, the logistics of it, how, when, where, and quantity, quality, all of those things have to be organized. Once they understand that you are capable of providing all these things, they will award you the contract. So that is what they look for when they put a bid out, whether you have all these kind of qualifications. Now, let's look at seller. That is we, small businesses like us. So we need to first decide what we are going to sell. Just because we have a goods or service, it doesn't mean we go and tell everybody, I have this. We advertise and we market that. But when we need to focus, who do we want? Like if you're focusing with a government agency, federal agency, any corporations, you need to first make sure that they buy your product or services. They need your product or services. So that's where you need to focus. Otherwise, when you, like every federal agency, the second point in the seller section has a small business specialist. Every agency, if you log into their website, you will be able to find them, and you can set up an appointment to go meet with them or over the phone, and they will provide informational session. It doesn't happen overnight. It might take 2 or 3 months to get an appointment with them, but still it is good to meet with them and build a relationship, because instead of simply bidding or sending information and emails out to them, it's good to set up the time, even 15 to 20 minutes time, and so that you can introduce yourself, your company, and your product and service. And also, it is very important as a seller for us to be certified, so that we fall in different categories and we get more opportunities to provide our goods and service. And also, each federal agencies and large corporations, you can log in and register as a vendor and upload your certifications, so that when you talk to the business specialist, you can tell them, I'm registered on your website, I have uploaded our certifications, so they can go and verify everything on their website. And just because you're registered, we are registered as a vendor, doesn't mean they are going to knock on our door and give us goods and services, because they have to put the bids out, and we need to make sure that our goods and services are something that they are going to buy. And then we also have to be very realistic about how much we can provide. So like tomorrow, as a small business, if we get a $5 million or $10 million contract, can we scale up? Do we have that all that responsibilities that we can provide that kind of $10 million contract to them? Are we set up that way? So it is very important as sellers to make sure that we are set in every possible way, that we are certified, we have financially stable, we have good partners who can support us when we need to scale up. All these things are very important. And then finally, when we know which agencies are needing our services, which agencies are using or we can use our product and service, then we can focus and approach them. So that otherwise you are just wasting your time going after everybody out there. Christina, are you there?
Yes.
Hello?
Hi.
So I'm not able to see the questions if there is any questions coming up. Just want to let you know that.
Okay, I'll chime in. Someone asked
okay.
a question, but actually our guest answered it for them. So we're good for now.
Okay. Okay. So next is a toolbox, like the tools. So what is this? Is like, I have a list of like 35 to a little less than 40 list of things that we need as a small business to be ready to be going after contracts, how we need to get ourselves ready. So I just gave a sample over here, and I'm going to address a few of these in the next following slides. But if you need a list, you can send an email to PTAC, and we will be able to send you that list of things that we need to be ready as small business owners. Like, are you registered? Do you have your DUNS number? Are you checking your ratings on a quarterly basis? Are you registered in SAM registration? It is very important as a business to be registered in SAM. This is like our, they have a cage code. That's how they verify your credibility, like whether you have good, like you have paid all your taxes as a business owner. All that will show up in the SAM registration. So it is very important to be registered on there. And then we also need to study our competition. Who's out there doing similar kind of product or service? It is very important to do that. And business strategy. A lot of people, like, you know, we start a business, but then as we are growing, we need to see which way we are going to move our direction of our business. It is so very important. And also, we have to be open to the market trends, what's happening out there. And, you know, is our business complying with the market trends? Are we going along with that? So these are very important things. So, for example, I'm taking one of the items from the previous slide, business plan. Most businesses I've come across, they start, when they start the business, they write a business plan and they don't even look at it for many years after that. It is so very important that we review the business plan every 3 months. If you have goals you have set, you have vision that next, you see on the slide, the pyramid, all those needs to be looked into on a timely manner, which I have listed next to that pyramid. So it is very important that, you know, you need to put it on your calendar every 3 months, put it on a calendar to review business plan for 2 or 3 hours. And also, it's not like you do it as a business owner for yourself. It has your team, your business, your company team, even if you're few people, doesn't matter. Team needs to agree on that so that everybody will work passionately towards that business. And do you have your capability statement? You know, you need to make sure that you have this is like a resume for your business. You got to have it ready, and you can customize it according to different agencies that you are targeting, and you can create different versions of this capability statement. So capability statement consists of your past performance, your references, your capabilities, your expertise, all those things comes into that. And so the client testimonial, past performance, or every time you work with a client, you provide your service or goods, make sure that you request them for a testimonial or in a letterhead, on their letterhead, ask them to give just a paragraph, 2-3 sentences of the goods and service that you provided them and how satisfied they are. It is very important that you ask them right after you provide the goods or service, because they will remember. Normally what I do is, as soon as I finish the service for them, I will send them a note. I'll tell them, these are the services I provided. This is the timeline. This is how we completed. And I send it to them, and I request them to give me a recommendation letter. They will immediately put it on the letterhead, and they will give it to me. I have collection of several of those. So when I am competing on a bid, I can keep these recommendation letters so it shows about my past performance. So it is very important that we make a note of this and make sure, because when you are bidding on a contract and then you go to this client of yours and then you request, can you give me a letter? They don't even remember what is it, or they may be traveling and they may not have the time. So it is very important we get it done right after we provide our service. So this is a snapshot of the capability statement, like what it has. It is not very difficult. You can Google this. If you Google a capability statement, you'll get variety of models that you can do, and you can customize it and see what you can do according to your business. It is not a big deal. I strongly recommend that you do it and do not go to a third party to help you build your capability statement, because this is like your resume. You know your capabilities, your what all you are good at, so you should put it there and you should work on it and what content goes into this. So it's very important, because most of the, when you go for an industry day with the agencies and you want to meet with a business specialist with an agency, it is very important you go with this capability statement. You can hand this over to them and you can email it to them. You can send it to them in so many, like now there are e-brochures. So it is very important to have this handy in different versions to provide it. Next, we are going to go to power partners. So this is very, very important. Like I had initially mentioned, when you want to go to a bigger contracts, how will you scale up? It is very important you find businesses that complement, who can provide as a prime or a subcontractor. Make sure that you meet with them and talk to them and have an MOU signed between both of you. Then what happens, they are interested to combine and do work with you, and you are interested, and both of you will be together stronger. So that way you have a variety of different businesses that you need to work with. Let me give you an example. For my business, I provide certifications and contracts and all that. I have CPAs, I have attorneys, I have people who are bookkeeping people. And the reason people who does taxes, because my clients, when they come, they're always asking for, do you have a banker that you could recommend? Do you have an attorney you could recommend who can look at my contracts? Do you, I need to get a loan. Who do I go with? So I have all these partners lined up with me. So I recommend my clients according to the requirements to different people. So, and also like a banker, don't have just one banker and one bank account. It is important to have a couple of them, because different banks have different requirements when they have to give you a loan and all those things. So it is good to have a couple of banks at least in your hand, and then meeting with them regularly and kind of connecting and talking to them, and not going to them only when you need a loan. So that way they understand your business, and when it comes time, they will be able to be your good partner. So these are all the different things that it is very important that we plan ahead of time before we go for contracts. Memberships, even like IEEE, if you are an engineering company, it's important to be members in several associations, because you will find a lot of opportunities by being a member, by connecting with those members in those associations. So you need to pick and select which one will be the right one to be associated with. And relationships, it is very important that you attend several networking meetings in a month and see which one is effective for you, because you have to be out there so you learn and understand what are the market trends, what is happening around there, who is doing what, and what new technology is coming up. It is important for us not to just sit in our office in front of a computer and keep working and trying to connect with people only online. It is important to be out there, going for expos, networking meetings, and being able to sell our product and service. So now let's look at how do we go after RFIs, right? The main RFI, RFP, and RFQ that you see on the screen. So I want to give you some distinction when you go and look at all these things with the different agencies. RFI is they are only collecting information on product or service. For example, a federal agency, they want to improve the technology, they want to upgrade it. They really don't know which way to go, what to do, which one will be the right one. So that's why they are asking for information. They want to know, this is what we have, we want to upgrade, and we want the supplier vendors to provide us some information. So you have a great opportunity here to to learn about what they currently have, and then you can provide them, this will be the right solution for you. And when they put an RFP out, they will make sure they connect with you, and they will make sure that you will be able to bid on the contract as well. So sometimes not all the RFIs are turning into contracts, but sometimes they're gathering information. It takes some time for them to make a decision, put an RFP out. So RFP is request for a proposal. So when they put the solicitation out, what does this mean is, you can provide them a couple of options. It's not like you have to provide them only one solution. So you can tell, you can have option A, option B, which this will help you to cut down on cost. This might help you to improve your efficiency, or different kinds of options you can provide. So that is request for proposal. Proposal means you can provide different options to them. And then the last one is request for quotation. That is set. They are only looking for pricing. And for example, if they're going to buy a table, they know, I want 5-foot table, this color, this size, this is how it should look, and I need pricing. All you're going to give them is pricing, and most of the time, they will go for the ones which is good quality and less price. So that is what the differences between request for information, request for proposal, and request for quote. So these are the main things that are going when you want to bid on contracts. Is you don't have to look at an RFI and then start scrambling to get information. So you can have a binder and collect all the details that goes into an bid. Okay, like your general information, have it collected, keep it updated, your history of your business strategy, all those things you can have it. You don't have to do it at the last minute. And each RFI has submission guidelines. It is very important to look at those guidelines and follow those, because sometimes these RFIs are 40 pages, 60 pages, 80 pages. I seriously telling you to read all of it, go through it. Once you read, start applying for it, and it is very important that you read, because when you do 3 or 4, then it will be easy for you to understand better. Let me give you a submission guidelines. One of my friends who went through this, he has a facility management contract, and he was shortlisted for the final 3. And in the submission guidelines, when they sent the emails out to them to come with a presentation, the very last line of the email, it mentioned, bring a dozen donuts. But only one of the 3 brought a dozen donuts with them when they went for the presentation. They sent the other 2 out, and they gave the contract to the person who brought the donuts, because he looked at all the details of how to submit. That's so very important, that how we and look at those guidelines. And if we have questions, there are timelines. We can request them, all the questions that we can ask, and don't have to act with any doubt in answering those questions. And scope of work. And we have to provide them exactly what they want, not what we have. Because that is so very important, because sometimes people, when the scope of work, they give all stories about what they are good at. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for, this is what we need. Can you provide us that? So that is, and then sample is very important. Your past performance, I have done similar kind of work, and then giving them that references is so very important, because they can pick up the phone, talk to them, or email your past performance client, and then they can get the information. And also, it is very important for you to let your clients know that you're giving their name as referrals, because you don't want them to be surprised. So that it is very important that you, ahead of time, can have 6 or 7 clients that you want to give as referrals, and you can let them know ahead of time that I'm going to be using you for my bidding purpose. And pricing, that is very important to be fully clarified when we are providing a pricing, because sometimes when we put it together, we think it is all very clear. It is very important that you have somebody else look at your bid package and review that, and if they have any questions to ask you before you submit, because another eye looking at it who did not prepare it is very important before we submit the RFI bids. Okay, and also like assigning when you submit a bid, it's very important when the agency is wanting to contact or talk to you, it's very important that they have one person to talk to, not 4 or 5 different person. It will confuse them. So in your bid, you should say this is the person who is going to be answering all the questions pertaining to this bid. It is very important. And also you should give a timeline for the pricing that you're giving. You can provide this is valid for 90 days, this is valid for 120 days, so that they are aware of it. So it is important for you to provide that also. And then the different persons in your area, like who will be taking care of production, who will be taking care of delivery, you know, that this is internally you need to make sure, because you don't want to get people confused about it. So it is all important when you are putting the bid together, all these are assigned in place. And also when you're submitting the bid, you have to check several times and then make sure that you are, you know, everything is like every T is crossed, every I is dotted, very, very sure. And I mentioned earlier, make sure that another person who did not build this RFI, put this RFP package together, that they are reviewing it before you move forward. And also have plan A and plan B. So because sometimes the agencies come back with some questions, and then we don't want you to be stuck. Oh, what do I do that? So if you should already have plan A and plan B in your mindset when the agency comes back, that you have the skill set to be able to tweak it either way how the agency wants it. And also you have to be very realistic about your capabilities. Just don't go promise something that you cannot deliver. It is very important. Yes, I can provide this. And this is where partnerships comes to play a bigger role, because you can immediately pull your partner if that is something what the agency is asking is not within your skill set. You can pull in a partner and you will be able to provide that to the agency, and they will know that you're much stronger because you have partnerships built already in place. So let's go with, like, say if you win, right? Just because you won a contract, you have to deliver. It is very, very important. And how you are going through the process is being also monitored by the agency. Okay, so it is important that you sit with them, you create a timeline, project timeline, and you have key members assigned. Everything, it has to be very transparent when you are providing your services to them. Don't keep them in question, don't keep them in doubt. So make sure that your point of contact person is in touch with them every 2 weeks or whenever is required, and providing the correct reports, timesheets, whatever is required. Make sure that everything, because you got your foot in the door. Okay, you won the contract. Now this is an opportunity for you to build your business to get more contracts. If you do your work satisfactorily with this agency, they will be recommending you to other departments within the same agency and also to other agencies. They will invite you to come to their expo, to their industry day, so they can introduce you to others. So it is very important, not just winning the contract and how you deliver it. You know, very, very important. We have come across, we have studied about this, people who win a contract and then lose it badly because they don't follow the steps after you win the contract. So it is very critical and important. So like I had mentioned earlier, not every time we will win all the bids that we are going through. It is, even if we lose a bid, it is important we can request for a debrief. Every federal agency will provide you that. It might take few weeks for them to provide that, but they will give you the time, and you can request to them and ask, like, what is it that I was not able to win? What could I have done better in preparing this RFP? So all those things, you know, when you hear from that contracting officer, you will be able to do better in your next thing. next bid that we are going after. So it is very important that you are looking at, and also look at who won the contract. And it is public information most of the time, who won the contract, and then see what that company is all about, and look at their website and see what information that you can gather about the company, and see how you can do better next time when you are bidding on the contract. And also, like the toolbox list I had mentioned to you earlier, there you can go and tweak your toolbox and make sure that you can make, oh, I could make this better, I can make that better, I can create, I could have put this information in my brochure. All those things will come to light for you when you're looking at others who have won. So this is the final slide. So I want to let you know that, there are opportunities everywhere. Just because we do not get something, it doesn't mean that's the end of it. There are, like I mentioned to you, attend networking meetings, connect with people, and I'm sure all of you have LinkedIn membership. Go and look at your contacts there and see people that you can connect to. Maybe people who are not even in your own business. Doesn't matter. People in different areas that you think are successful and doing well. Go for coffee with them. Ask them, like, if they are in a different state, can I have 15-20 minutes with you? Ask them, how are you successful? What did you do? What challenges did you face? It is easy to talk to people and gather, and we can grow our business better. And don't think just because we are a small business, we are alone. There are resources, people out there to help us and guide us, like how PTAC is there, SPDC is there, SBA. There are so many workshops which are free, webinars and seminars are out there. Make sure that we are in the learning mode as we are doing the business, not just because sometimes we are so focused in our business, we lose track of what is happening out there. So always be on the lookout, because there are so many opportunities out there that we are at the best season in our lifetime right now. We can make, every business can be successful. We just have to be creative. To give you one last example, I had a client who's a florist. You might think what a florist can do to get a large contracts and all that, just a small shop. And she was able to get certified as a minority and women-owned business, and she walked into this large corporations. They have this huge bouquets, and every office have these plants and everything. And she told them, why are you getting it from FTD? I am a small business, minority and women-owned business. You should be working with me for that. She walked in and she requested, and they wrote a contract for her to give that. So we have to think differently outside the box. To give you one more last example, one of my clients, she does braiding. She inherited the salon from her mother, and she was interested in doing it, but was not really interested in sitting in the salon every day, waiting for customers to come in. And she really wanted to do something different and better. And she went to the jail officials, and she told them she wants to provide this training for the inmates how to braid, so when they come out, they will have a vocation to be able to find a job or do something with that. So they wrote an RFP for her just for that, because she went and asked, because they provide computer services for inmates, they provide different services, but she went and she approached it. She thought differently outside the box, so she could get this contract. So I want you to think differently outside. That's why it is important to be connected with people outside and be talking to everywhere around. I hope it was useful, and I want to let you know my service is also free for you through PTAC. If you are signed up with PTAC, I'll be able to guide you, give all kinds of advice, and provide you and point you to different resources which are out there. Thank you so much for listening, and Christine, you can take over.
Sure. Thank you so much, Ranjani. So she provided a lot of valuable information. In just a moment, we're going to open it up for questions, and I know there's a couple already in the chat window that Ranjani will address shortly. First, I just wanted to stress what I think is the most important thing that she mentioned. I mean, those examples, thinking outside the box, that's great advice. Also, that attending industry days, matchmaking events, procurement expos, anywhere that buyers or small business advocates are for the agencies you're targeting, you need to be there. You want them to know who you are, know your face, so that they think of you first. That's how you win contracts. So thank you, Ranjani. Everything you said was very valuable. So quickly, to apply for our services, visit our website. I also had a link in the chat earlier, and you can just click on the big green button. Pretty easy. We'll contact you soon. I just wanted to go over some of our upcoming events. We have tons of upcoming events, 2 more virtual ones for those of you who are out of the area. We're doing small roundtable sessions on getting a GSA schedule and maintaining a GSA schedule. Those are going to be limited to 5 attendees each, and you'll just be able to ask experts any questions you have. This Caltrans Procurement Fair in Sacramento, this is an example of one of those events that you need to be at if you want to do business with the government. Caltrans will be there. They have 30 buyers attending this event. They are, if you meet with Caltrans on that day, they are providing priority purchasing for anyone who meets with them on that day. There's other agencies there too. So if you ever have considered doing business with Caltrans, and don't just think if you don't do construction, you can't do business with Caltrans. They buy janitorial services, security services, office supplies, pretty much anything you can think of. They will also have other state agencies and federal agencies there. I know CHP will be there. Department of Corrections will be there. GSA on the federal side will be there. They have about 25 agencies there. There's a couple more events. There's more on our website. I won't spend too much more time on that because I want to get into questions. So go ahead and you can enter them into the chat box. You're also welcome to unmute yourself if you just want to shout. Let's get to the questions that were already asked. Ranjani, there were 2 so far. Someone wanted to know about tips for how to price your services competitively. And then can you see the questions, Ranjani?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so let's talk about that first. Tips for how to price your services competitively. I let the person know that we can help them research competitor pricing, but anything else?
So it is important, like, the bids that are, the contracts that are awarded earlier is available. So you can, when you're bidding on a contract, you can even request them in the question and answer time that you have. Who was doing this contract before, and so then you will be able to see the pricing and be able to compete with that. And also in the question and answer session or in the RFPs, most of the time they have a budget. They will give you the budget. This is what we are looking for. Like, so then you will be able to provide within that budget. Most of the RFPs now providing that, that limit, like this is what we are trying to get, this is what we have. So that is another way to do that. And also when you look at other bids, you will know that what is the pricing. And also sometimes I advise my clients to give them a range. Sometimes you can give them, this is my pricing, but I can work in this range. If you give them that, so they know that you are flexible in those, and they will be able to negotiate with you. Hope that answered my question.
So the next question was, it seems like existing companies that get the contracts already have a huge advantage. Why would they even look for a new contractor? And you kind of answered this a little bit already, but please expand.
Yeah, so mostly, so yes, there are companies who have got in the door and they're already doing the work. But remember, government agencies always want to work with small businesses. They want to help us to grow. So that is one of the requirements. They're putting the bids out. They are not just putting the bids out wanting to waste their time when they already want to give it to somebody who's already working with them. They want to encourage us. They want to expand the territory. Sometimes somebody is already working there, but we could bring in some new ideas to them, new skill sets, new resources to them. So they are looking for all those things. So it is not that they already have something. This is again a myth. They already have somebody, they are not going to look at me. Why do we have to put ourselves down? That's why it is important to make ourselves very, very strong, that they want to do business with us, and then attending and creating awareness of that we exist to them, will want to do business with them. It is always, do not take that, they already have somebody. They will definitely want to work with all different kind of businesses. That is the only reason they are putting the bids out.
Exactly. The next question is, does a small business have to have 3 W-2 employees to win a contract? This is something I heard. Is this true? And I haven't heard that, Ranjani. We have clients who only have 1099 contractors. Go ahead.
As long as you are a registered company and you are registered in SAM and you have all those things, DNB, you have a DUNS number and all that, you qualify. It has got nothing to do with your W-2 employees and all that. Maybe you might have heard it in anyone specific, because there are sometimes they want people to be US citizens and working from this country, and not even citizens, but they should be working from the US, not from outside a different country. So maybe those kind of requirements might have been in that what you looked at, but most of the time they do not have that kind of requirement.
And then she just added, I think it was in regard to opportunities under 25,000. Again, I haven't heard that.
Not at all. I have not heard that at all. And if you can direct that wherever you saw that to us, we can be more explain that better and see what it is all about.
Thank you. So I don't see any other questions right now, but we're going to hang out for a little bit longer. Feel free to type in your questions, or again, you can unmute yourself and just shout it out while we wait. Oh, here we go. Sometimes RFPs and RFQs or solicitations have so many clauses which we do not understand. Will PTAC help us in understanding them? Yes, absolutely. Yes.
That's what we are here for.
Exactly. So while we wait to see if there's any other questions, I'm just going to skip ahead. There is, you'll be receiving an email in the next few minutes that has a survey. We'd really like to get your feedback on today's webinar. On that survey, you can also note if you want us to contact you for PTAC services. Looks like we have some more questions. Oh, Teresa, who asked the question about W-2 employees, said it was from a person on the phone soliciting us to become a client. Oh, well, that's one more. It's a good example, or brings up a good point, that if anyone's ever trying to get you to pay for something, I mean, as soon as you register for SAM, you start getting people emailing you, and a lot of them are scams. So if anyone ever tells you that you need to pay to renew your SAM registration, or you get an email that says your SAM registration will renew if you don't pay us $500 or something like that, those are usually scams. So you can email those to us and we can tell you if something's legitimate or not. But usually the government will never ask you to pay. In most cases, when you're applying for a GSA schedule, there's some minimal fees, but usually the government will not make you pay to become a contractor.
So on that note, Christina, can I say something?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you get an email like that, you go to the bottom of the email. If it says unsubscribe, do that immediately. Yes. Because if it is unsubscribe, that means it is a solicitation. They're coming after you to subscribe to something or whatever it is. So immediately if you unsubscribe, that's how you will see validity of that. And they will say, nowadays we see that they have even .org or something to help us to think that it is government agency. It is not. If it is unsubscribed, it is not a government agency.
That's good, great advice. So we have a couple more questions coming in. Quandra asked, how does this process work when targeting a nonprofit? I want to contract with a nonprofit. So first, I just want to say from the PTAC perspective, our specialty is contracting with government agencies, so that's not within my scope of work. Ranjani, do you, outside of the PTAC? So
most of the time, grants, when you work with a nonprofit, right? So for profit, you go out for bids and all that. For nonprofit, you go apply for grants. So that's how nonprofit functions. They don't put a bid out or something. but if you are a nonprofit, you apply for grants to do your work. Is that the question? Am I answering it correctly?
Yeah, so they're wanting to do business with a nonprofit. So maybe a nonprofit puts out an RFP and they want to respond to it. It's a similar process.
Okay. Yeah, so they do. The nonprofit gets funding to get some of the services for their agency, and so they put a bid out. As a for-profit agency, you are eligible to bid on those contracts. Yes. Several of them do that.
And learning how to do business with the government, how to respond to government RFPs is going to assist you in responding to nonprofit and corporate RFPs as well.
Yeah.
So back to the question about the 25,000, someone added, could it be that 25,000 is the requirement for the last 3 years' sales to qualify for SB classification? I don't think so. What do you think, Ranjani?
These are, sometimes, some of the RFPs are specific towards some of their requirements. So I don't want to say, no, it is not true and all that. But if you bring it to us, our attention, that if you're looking at it and if it is something of interest to you to go after the product or service that they are requesting for, bring it to us, bring it to a PTAC services. We will look at it and we will guide you properly. We even have the capability of calling the contracting officer to clarify that for you. We can even do that. So because we are all advisors, the PTAC advisors, we will be able to help you out.
Exactly. We have a question. If we're outside the service area, where can I find information regarding matchmaking events? Well, first of all of our events, PTAC events, you can attend them. I'm not sure how far outside our service area you are. You probably don't want to travel too far. But there are PTACs across the United States. So where are you located? Why don't you send me a notification, an email, and I can give you information about events in your area. Maria Prieto asked, we signed up with Norcal PTAC. How can we get access to the bid matching app? So Maria, I can look you up. I can see who your counselor is, who your procurement specialist is, and that person can work with you on determining keywords, making sure that the location is correct, and we can get you signed up, no problem. Someone was wondering about services to small businesses in North Carolina. So there is a PTAC in North Carolina, and send me an email, reply to the email that's gonna show up in your inbox in a few minutes, and I can send you contact information for the North Carolina PTAC. Okay. Can I target a government RFP, then use the contract or funding to work under the umbrella of a nonprofit? I don't totally understand that. Go ahead.
I understand, but no, you will not be able to do that because the RFP is issued to you for your for-profit business, and you may be having another nonprofit under the same umbrella, but you will not be able to direct any funding that you receive through this RFP into your nonprofit.
And then back to the Teresa's question. It sounds like the contracting officer said their sales had to be over 150,000. Probably she said that to weed us out. Our sales were 100,000. Yeah, Teresa, send us that that contract, or if anyone has any specific questions about specific contracts, send us that bid opportunity, and we'd love to look at it with you. Well, it looks like it's the end. Oh, sorry, a salesperson. That's right. Well, she was probably just trying to sell you something. Okay, so I think that that's it.
One, I would like to address that because sometimes the reason they are requesting your sales should be over that because they want to make sure that you are not a one-person company, and if they give you the contract, whether you will be able to scale up. So the requirement may be whether have you done sales with 150K, in the last 3 years or something like that, they might say. So they want to make sure that you have the capabilities and you will be able to scale when you get the contract. So that could be the reason that they are asking for that sales to be over 150K.
So it looks like we don't have any more questions for now, but again, you'll be receiving an email any minute. Oh, one last question. Where can I get more information about targeting the military and prisons? So PTAC can send you information specifically about small business specialists on the federal side or advocates on the state side. We have some connections specifically with buyers. Go ahead.
FBO has fbo.gov has everything is always listed there.
Right.
FBO Father Brother Oliver.gov is a website to go where every RFP which is out there is always posted there.
Yep, exactly.
Or if you are in your area, if you are targeting some military agency in your area, wherever you are, they have a website. Go look it up. And if you're closer to them, set up a time to go meet with the business specialist over there. You know, the great opportunity if you want to target that way.
So, as a newly started business without any past clients, can we still bid for federal government contracts, or should we build a customer base first?
Very good question. Can I answer that?
Yes, please.
Okay. So it is very important. You are a new business, but you might have past experience that you're bringing. That's why you're starting this new business. So don't under-evaluate yourself. Build your partnerships. Like if you have another partner who has done some projects, so in your capability statement that you're providing to the agency, you can provide that you have partnerships and you will be able to provide all the skills. So that is how you build yourself, not thinking, oh, it is only 1 year, I have to be doing my business for 3 years before I can go bid on that. No, that's not thing. You can really project yourself because you are starting your business with the skill set that you're bringing to the business. So keep that in mind, and when you will definitely be able to do that with partnerships.
Great answer. Okay, so I am not seeing any more, although I keep saying that and then one more gets squeezed in. But I think that we're going to stop for now. So please feel free to reply to the email that I think it might have just been sent out. Yep, it was just sent out. This was recorded. It's being recorded right now, and I'm going to stop the recording in a minute. It will be posted definitely by Friday latest, but potentially even by today. The website is www.norcalptac.org/webinars, and I just entered that into the chat window. It's also a link on the email you just received. And thank you all for joining. Thank you so much, Ranjani, Mohana, and we look forward to seeing you.
You're welcome.
At the next one.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.